Welcome back to my channel. Stats, and more stats. Keeping stats on yourself is so important to be able to appreciate the week when you work it the way you want to work it. Welcome back to my channel with tips and tricks. And I've just been going over my stats for the week and just realizing, how well I'm doing for this week, and just keeping track on all that for myself. And with stats on yourself, and what I mean about stats on yourself, you basically want to keep stats on yourself at the time you start, the time you end. If you have a timer, you could use that as well too, so you can track how much time you're putting out there, because then that will also help you to see if you're pacing very well for the day. But when you have stats on yourself, it's just so cool because you get to have a snapshot of how you're doing for the week and where you could be flexible with yourself in the week. So, for instance, I know my stats for this week. I've had one day off and another day, a half a day. So by having my stats, I can tell exactly how hard I need to work for the week or how less I need to work for the week, which is pretty cool. And having those stats are like so important because they're basically your guiding post to let you know how the week is working out for you and how you're doing for the week. Again, simple stats is the time you start, the time you end. If you have a timer, you can set a timer if you want to when you pick up your first delivery. And then at the end, if you take a break, you could stop it. And if you end the day, boom, you're done. And then you can see, well, okay, I worked 7 hours today, or I worked 8 hours today, and you have that right in front of you. And when you can keep track of your stats like that, you develop a rhythm, a flow, that you can actually say, okay, like for instance, this week, I can say to myself, well, tomorrow I can start a little bit later if I want to. Or, I can take a half a day. Or even with the amount of money that I've made so far, I can take a day off tomorrow if I want to. Remember, our time in the gigs, when we're doing it, especially when you're doing it full-time like me, is very fluid. Very, very fluid. I mean, there have been times that my wife needed me for certain things, and I was able to do those certain things because of the flexibility that I love about the gig world. It's that flexibility. It's that ability to be able to, you have to trade time for money. So you basically figure out throughout the entire week of the 7 days where you actually want to trade that time. And you build your work-life balance around it. Normally, these things are given to us when we're actually working for somebody. If you get hired by somebody or a company or a corporation, they tell you, okay, these are the hours, this is what you got to work. And you have no choice because it's a job. You have to do it. Or it's a career. You have to do it. But in the gig world, the freedom, independence, and flexibility is very tempting. And you have to bring structure and order to your time. Because if you don't, then you're going to do everything that's going to be very willy-nilly. And at the end of the week, you're going to wonder, well, why didn't I hit these numbers? Or why didn't I do this? But when you have structure, when you have stats on yourself, you can improve. You can find ways to either say, maybe this schedule works really well for me. Let me stick with this schedule and work this schedule consistently and indefinitely. Stats are so powerful. I mean, they're like the lifeblood of how you create your income and how you want it to flow to you. Okay? So when you're actually out there and you're saying to yourself, okay, these are my hours. Like my sweet spot hours are from 10:30 to 7 o'clock at night. And when you work your hours and you set those hours for yourself, everything just seems to flow naturally. It feels good. I can get this done. I can get that done. I'm not just going out and just working 12 hours or I'm working, 15 hours. I don't need to do that because I have my set hours that work for me and I know how to flow naturally in my market. And that's what it's all really about. It's just trying to find those set hours that work really well. Okay? And again, that's different for everyone. right? What works well for me may not work well for you. You may be the type of person that may want to work 12 hours. Me, I'm the kind of person I like to work 8 hours. If I wanted to do 4 days, then I would have to work 10 hours so that I can hit that 40-hour sweet spot. But stats are so powerful. I can't. If you could keep stats, find any way possible. Okay, you don't need an app to do it. I mean, you could get a regular app if you want to, that with a calendar, and all you do is copy and paste your numbers in that app, so you can see when you bring up your app, you can look at it and say, okay, so far I'm doing pretty good for the week. I'm on pace. Let me go out and work today, you know, and then you calculate it based on how much you have to work, you know. So far, I have not had to hit 40 hours a week, which I'm very blessed and grateful for. But my needs are different than your needs, okay? That's what works for me. And having those stats, having a start time and end time, having the market that you're working in, going back to the same Walmart. If you have one Walmart that you're very good with, keep going back to that same Walmart, okay? If that Walmart is producing very well, if they're flowing naturally, go back to that Walmart. Today, so far, I think I only took one DoorDash today, and only because I missed the timetable for the deliveries for that Walmart in North Brunswick. Okay, that's the one I go to. I didn't want to mention any names, but you know, that's the one I go to. And they have a set time frame where they bring merchandise out, and I want to be able to get there at a set time frame to be able to pick up those merchandises and distribute them. Now, if I miss the hour, then I know for a fact I can then bring up DoorDash and Grubhub to fill that hour in. So I'm not just sitting there waiting till the next hour for them to give me anything. But having those stats, tracking your bonuses, paying attention to, you know, when is the best time. Like even today, I said to myself, okay, this order came in at this time, so that means that there's a good possibility it's going to keep coming in at this time. So I have to be there at this time to take that order, or keep the app open so I can take that order. Okay? Knowing the post speed, not of yourself only, but also of the store, helps a lot. The only time I will ever multi-app, especially if I'm taking a bonus, is if I miss that hour. I just don't want to sit there. So if something good comes in with DoorDash, I'm going to grab it, you know? I want to make every hour count, but I also want to get that bonus, and I'm only 2 deliveries away from getting it. So yeah, it's kind of exciting, and it kind of motivates me. It drives me really good, so I love that. Always try to look out for those bonuses if you have Walmart Sparks, you know? If you're working on any other app, most of these apps always do have some kind of bonus that you can actually work with and actually make it work for you. So that's where I just wanted to touch base with you. Just keep stats on yourself. Keep track of yourself. When you have that with you, it's like, it just feels good because I know how my week is going. And I have a blueprint of what I can do for the next following week. Maybe I don't need to take 2 days off. Maybe I could take a day and a half off. Maybe I could take just 2 days off, or maybe 1 day off. It all depends on how I need it for that particular week. That's the beauty of being your own boss, having that flexibility and that freedom, you know? Oop, we got here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's see what I got here. That's a good one. Yep, boom, got it. Okay, one more to go. Wish me luck. But yes, always keep stats on yourself. Very simple ones. Very simple ones. You know, we as human beings are goal-driven creatures, and we always like to set goals for ourselves to be able to hit a certain level, okay? And if you feel that you want to hit a certain level, stats will get you there. They will guide you in the right direction to know. I remember in the past when I wanted to say to myself, okay, I want to hit this number. I want to make this amount of money consistently and indefinitely, okay? But I had to start with my stats. I had to look at my, I had to take a hardcore look at what I was making against the hours that I was working. And I realized, oh my God, you know, it's like, if I want to get to this number, then I have to be able to trade time for money. So I have to create a schedule for me that makes sense. And slowly but surely, I started with incrementing it to 40 hours a week. Then I started to see my flow happening. Then I started to realize, oh my God, you know, maybe I don't need to do DoorDash as much. Maybe I could just do Walmart Sparks only. And more, as you build on those stats, you're building yourself a solid, fluid schedule that works for you. So trust me on that. Keep stats on yourself. You're gonna appreciate it. You're gonna thank me later. I'm telling you. And again, feel free to leave comments in the section below. Ask me any questions you want. I'll do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. I hope you guys are doing great out there with DoorDash. I hope you guys are doing great out there with Grubhub, with Sparks, or with any other apps that you're working out there, okay? The holiday seasons will be over soon, so take advantage of this time now, okay? And subscribe to my channel and hit the like button and set that notification to make sure you get all the important information I can send to you all the time. Have a great day.